The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Here's what would have probably happened. They may have had a sparsely filled out birth record. In other words, a name, no other real information, maybe the name of the mother. Somewhere along the line, they tried to say he was born at Queens Hospital. When Queens Hospital in Hawaii was approached, they said, we have no record of him being born here. So they automatically switched it to Kapolani Medical Center. Kapolani Medical Center, to date, has never said they have any birth record of Mr. Obama and have no information of his mother being in that hospital delivering a child. So we know that there's no supporting documentation. Under the state laws, an individual can come in and they could amend that birth certificate. Now, how could that happen? Well, Mr. Obama's maternal or purported maternal grandmother passed away, I believe, in '08. It's quite possible that they amended the birth certificate, took an affidavit from her, and she says, yes, this is the father, yes, this was the mother, yes, he was born in Kapolani, whatever they needed to say on the document. Once that's accepted by the state of Hawaii, the state of Hawaii, though, by their own statute, actually safeguards themselves. They now take the birth record, they will amend it, but whenever you ask for a copy of it, it has to be stamped in large print on the bottom that it's been amended. And under their statute, an amended document carries no legal significance. In other words, it doesn't even meet prima facie evidence anymore. And it leaves it up to the recipient of that printed out document to determine if they're going to believe it or not. So we're thinking what may have happened here is they amend this birth record, they print it out, they seal it in an envelope to Perkins Coie, and Perkins Coie, now being the lawyer of record for the president, has, attorney-client privilege, they know that it's an amended certificate. Well, they cannot produce an amended birth certificate to the American people. Number one, for the statutory problem I just told you, and number two, that would really be suspicious. So what they may have done is taken the information on that amended certificate and created a PDF file. Now you have to realize in doing that you've committed a crime because that PDF file is not an official document and it would have the amended verbiage removed, but it's also showing you now amended information that isn't factually checked. It isn't vetted information again. It's merely just the word of somebody saying something. Well, we were going to purport to you that didn't reside there, that information didn't reside there for almost 47 years, and all of a sudden it ended up there. When the state of Arizona protested and asked for a verification, Secretary of State Bennett asked for a verification. The verification was cleverly worded in legalese, basically saying, we're not verifying the document that you have. We're verifying that we have information that matches the information that your document has. But we go back to prima facie. The value of that evidence is almost nothing because they don't vet the information to make sure the information was correct and legally obtained. So we have a verification. That's a non-verification. Now, unfortunately, our Secretary of State elected to accept that and did not keep him off the ballot, but we still have the problem.
So nobody wants their fingerprints on this birth certificate.
Nobody wants the fingerprints on their birth certificate, but one of the press conferences that I gave, we had, through the metadata on the computer file, have determined that 20 minutes before this was uploaded to the White House website for the world to see, it resided in a Mac computer, and it resided in a program called Preview. And before this was uploaded, people were still working on this file. Now, from an investigational standpoint, the optimal place to start is the person that gave permission to upload the file to the website from the White House, which is a secured website, obviously. And then the next person you want to talk to is the person that pressed the upload button from that Mac computer. Because as you start working backwards, you would eventually find out who created the file. The state of Hawaii has never said they created it. As a matter of fact, in the conversation I had in person at the Department of Health, with an assistant or a deputy attorney general, they never once confirmed for me that they made the electronic file. So I'm telling you, there's a crime here. There's a crime here that begs a bigger question as to why. During the course of our investigation, I'll share this with your listeners. People don't even know it yet. I just got back Saturday night from Hawaii for a second trip. The sheriff dispatched me back to Hawaii. I can tell you that I can find no evidence of Mr. Obama being in the state of Hawaii prior to going to, I believe it was first grade or kindergarten or something to that effect. I have no evidence that he was there. I really have no evidence that he was in that state before the age of 5. And even after the age of 5, and some of it's a little questionable, but I have no evidence supporting that he was in this country, or in the state of Hawaii at least, before the age of 5.
Well, you know, Mr. Zola, I have jokingly said many times over the years, I've asked various guests, including people from Hawaii, I've said, hey, if I wanted to travel, if I wanted to have a pilgrimage to Hawaii and to bring a gift to present to the birthplace of baby Obama, where would I lay this gift? I can't get anybody to tell me.
Nobody could tell you. Nobody could tell you. Nobody could want to tell you. And I'll go a step further for you, sir. I mean, we're late in this election cycle, and we're not where we would have liked to have been. But we have no real evidence that the purported father, Mr. Obama Sr., is actually the father. We have no evidence that Stanley Ann Dunham is actually, in fact, the biological mother. You're shown photographs and told a scenario. And you look at these photographs, and they expect you just to believe them. Well, we know a lot of the photographs have been doctored. There's evidence clearly that they've been manipulated, digitally manipulated.
Oh yeah, the one with the black hand around her waist, and there's no black man standing there.
Exactly. I mean, it's just it's mind-boggling to see this kind of thing. I've seen pictures of purported baby Obama in Hawaii that looks like the head of a 1-year-old and the body of a 6-year-old. I mean, the stuff is just ridiculous. So you have no evidence. I have no hard evidence. My trip back down to Hawaii, I focused on a little baby girl, Virginia Tsunohara. Virginia Tsunohara was born the same day as Mr. Obama. Virginia Tsunohara died 22 hours later. So she's born the same day and she dies the same day. Virginia Tsunohara's birth certificate number, which should be in line with Mr. Obama's, starts off with an 11, as the 11,000s. And I don't have the number directly in front of me to quote it to you. Starts off in the 11,000s. Mr. Obama, he starts off with 10 and goes into 600s. You've got a 400 certificate number move between Mr. Obama's birth certificate, the Nordyke's twin birth certificate numbers, and Virginia Tsunohara. Now that makes no sense because we spoke directly to Verna K. Lee, the registrar who would have signed Mr. Obama's birth certificate back in 1961, and she makes it clear to us how the numbering sequence has happened. You can't have a numbering sequence jump of 400 numbers in a 24, 22-hour period of time. It would have taken, at their birth rate there, I believe about 15 days.
What about the doctor that allegedly signed the birth certificate? After the electronic file was posted on the White House website, the adult grown children of that doctor, who has passed away, said, we didn't know Dad delivered the President of the United States. He never told us.
Well, and that's true, and because we don't think that happened either. You know, every signature on that document looks like it was lifted off of another one. Every pertinent piece of information. When you look at the document has, I believe it's 9 layers, 9 links. And where we realized human intervention took place here was they tried to chalk it off to these anomalies and these layerings as just being something scanned into a computer like it should have been a photograph. Well, going back to the document, the way the document was presented, if it was just scanned in and just displayed up there, kind of like a picture, it would have been one-dimensional. But it had one layer, one link, the whole document would have been there, and you couldn't move anything around on it. However, the way the document really does lay out, the document lays out in a file that allows you to see what was moved and what was changed. And it only has 9 items. Every one of those items, they include pertinent information: dates, names, signatures, the register stamp, and the date that the register dated the stamp for authenticity. Those things all move around. Those things all have white halos behind them. Those things are telling us that no computer would have logically made these changes. It focuses on critical information only. And it's only something that a human would have to do. A computer would be paying no attention to these things. So we know that they did this on purpose. That's why we know it's manufactured. I believe, and I can't prove this yet, but I do believe that what they loaded up onto the White House website was done in error. I believe the document or the file loaded up on the White House website was actually the working file, the file that was used to clip and paste parts of this document together. I believe there was a finished file. The finished file, had they compressed it, they could have given it that one-dimensional look, and no one would have been able to go in there and see anything had been moved. But I think an error was made in the upload, and they uploaded the wrong file. The problem for them was, in about 20 minutes, I believe it had something like 125,000 downloads. They couldn't go back in and take it off.
Oh, I know, Mike. Within the first hour, I was being contacted by listeners who have, professional experience in graphics, and they were telling me this is a fraud. I've already dissected it.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.